This video is going to show you how you can review the documents that you have performed already and how to make corrections to those documents if you realize you've made an error. So the easiest place to start when reviewing your documentation is your schedule. So any visit that is a diamond, diamonds are done, you can click on that visit and then you can come down to View Note. When you click View Note, it opens up the note in a PDF format. And if you need to make the font bigger, it can be hard to see, you can press F8 on your keyboard, and then you can increase the size to 100% if you wanted. So this is how you scroll up and down, and this is how you can view your work. It is important that you come in and take a look. Part of our most recent Department of Health audit, they did pick up that there's spelling mistakes, that certain things were incomplete. So it's really important that you come in and you look at your previews. After you finish every visit, you get the option to preview your note. I strongly recommend you hit yes. Take that extra couple of seconds to review your note. Make sure you didn't make any major mistakes. So when you're finished with that, you can just click that red X up there to close it. So you can review notes, or you can review, if you wanted to review your summary, you could come down here, click your managed care summary, and then here's the summary in printed out format. So if you do realize that you made an error and you'd like to go back and correct it, or if you realize that you omitted something that was important, you would just come out of the scheduling task, and then you would come up to create new task, and the name is called View Revise Documentation. So we would click on View Revise Documentation. The task will open. The search field, you would have a list of your patients. If you're working in Citrix, you would have to do a search for your patient. So you would type in their last name. And if your patient does not appear on your list, it could be that they're in a different status. So you could just check all, and it will pull in patients that may be discharged or in a pending research status. Once you find your patient, you would select them and then click Next, or click the page to select the documentation for that patient. Once you come into select documentation, you'll have a list. It goes by plan period. So if you had to check something from further back, you may have to click your filter and pick a earlier plan period. So if you know you needed to make a correction to the documentation, you can do a preview right from here. So if you don't even remember what you needed to correct, or if you just wanted to review all of your notes for that patient in one easy way, you could just click here, hit the view, and then there's your pop-up. Once you find the area the note that needs the correction, you would just click select in front, and then the rest of the pages will open up. So you can come here. There's the patient overview, patient status, but all the work that you're going to need to do is here in the revised documentation page. So once you come here, now here, the entire tree that was available to you when you did the note will be here available again. So if you realize, oh, I did a 60-day summary and I forgot to update my progress and effectiveness care step, you would just find the care step that you needed to document on. Just as a little hint, if it's got a plus sign, it means that you did document on it. If there's no plus sign in front, it means you did not document it on it at all. So if you see an important care step that doesn't have a plus sign, it means that you need to go back in there and document it. So for this example, I'll pick this one. Now, once you come into the care step, you can't write right away. You're going to have to click the late entry button, and then you would come in and make that documentation change. Now, let's say that you realize you made a spelling mistake on something. So I would come up here. Now I have two options. I can either do a late entry, which means I can add something to this care step, or I can correct something. So if I made a spelling mistake, I could come in and hit correct entry, and then I could come in here and make the correction. There is no save button on this task. It saves it when you hit the finish button. If you realize that you forgot to do a communication, you could come here and do communications, and then you could hit the plus sign, and then you could add a communication to that note. Sometimes when you're doing an evaluation, maybe you forgot to do a communication. All team leads, update. So when you're finished making that correction, you can click finish. And then you can save the changes and exit the task. You can save your changes and choose another note for the same patient, or you can save your changes and choose a different patient. So for this, I'm just going to exit the task because I'm completed. I made all the corrections that I needed. Once you click OK, you're going to get the pop-up asking you to preview the note. Like I said, I strongly recommend you always take advantage of that preview. So now I can show you what it's going to look like, how this generates on the session note. So here in the preview, you can see I made that correction on the PT primary deficits. So it doesn't erase what you've written previously. What it does is it puts the current good documentation above, and then underneath it'll give you the details that I made this correction, and it says exactly what you made the changes to. So there is a very robust audit trail on these notes. You can't delete anything. Things don't just go away, but it will document what the correction is. So, and then here, this care step I didn't document it on all, so it's a late entry. So it shows that even though I did the visit on a certain day, I made this late entry on another. So that's how the view revised documentation task works.